Hey everyone, members of Tinnitus Talk. 2020 might have been a rough year for many of you. On top of having to deal with your tinnitus, we've all had to deal with self-isolation, and some of you might have had to deal with the economic fallout of the COVID crisis. So we know it hasn't been easy. And in the area of tinnitus research, of course, all of us are still waiting for that one big breakthrough. But in the meantime, there have been some promising results, amongst others from Autonomy, who just now published some new trial results. And good news, they have consented to come onto the Tinnitus Talk podcast very soon. So that's excellent news. And of course, there's been Frequency Therapeutics with some success in their own right. We, of course, had them already onto the Tinnitus Talk podcast last year. It was actually our best listened to episode ever. Then there's the Bionics Institute, which claims to have found an objective measure of tinnitus. And if that's true, it's very exciting. They have also agreed to come onto the Tinnitus Talk podcast. Of course, 2020 was also the year when Neuromod Devices finally published their clinical trial results for probably the only serious new tinnitus treatment to come to market in the past few years, Lanier. We were, to put it mildly, underwhelmed by the trial results. You can read all about it in my blog post on the Tinnitus Hub website. In 2020, we've also been conducting many of our own projects to help people with tinnitus. I'll just give you a few highlights of those. Early this year, we conducted our biggest online survey ever called Tinnitus and the Body, where we asked people about their tinnitus characteristics and various other ailments and conditions. And we got over 8,000 completed responses, which is huge, and that's very valuable data for research. The data is now being analyzed by Sarah Michels, one of the few researchers who focuses on somatic tinnitus, and she found some interesting results, but there's a lot more data analysis to be done. In 2020, we also published an extensive video series on tinnitus research, which was based on footage that I shot when I was attending the Tinnitus Research Initiative conference last year in Taipei. The video series consists of 18 videos, most of them featuring individual researchers with a specific area of expertise. It was a hell of a work to get out because we do all the production in-house. But so we're very proud of that. And I think it's a very valuable research if you're really interested in learning more about tinnitus research. So check it out on our YouTube or Vimeo channel. In 2020, we also started a new research project focused on biobanks. Biobanks are vast databases with huge sample sizes, and they could be a potential treasure trove for tinnitus research, but it's been mostly unexplored. So what we're doing together with some researchers from Regensburg University and some volunteers from our side, we're making an inventory of all the biobanks out there that contain tinnitus data. And then we're also scoping what other data they contain. So for instance, neuroimaging data that can be used for tinnitus research. So by making this inventory and showing to the tinnitus research community, look, there's all this data out there that you can analyze and use for innovative cure-focused tinnitus research, we're hoping to give it that extra push and push researchers to use this data. In 2021, we'll keep focusing on all of the stuff I've mentioned, but we also will be putting a lot more emphasis on citizen science. Citizen science means involving regular people like you and me directly in research. And that's what we want to see happen with tinnitus research, that really the whole tinnitus community becomes directly involved. So to that end, we will be conducting monthly polls on the Tinnitus Talk forum, where we round up all the published academic papers on the topic of tinnitus from the previous month, and people can vote on what they think is the most valuable paper of the previous month. And by doing this every month and collecting hard data on what the tinnitus community values, what kinds of research papers are valued by us, the tinnitus community, and then sharing those outcomes with the research community, we hope to steer research into a direction that's more directly driven by the needs and interests of the tinnitus community. We're also looking to organize a webinar on the topic of citizen science, which will take place sometime in March, so stay tuned. You'll hear researchers, people from industry, people with tinnitus talk about how we can make tinnitus research more driven by the community and what's needed to really make that happen. There's lots more we're going to be doing in 2021, but I really don't want to bore you. We just wanted to take a moment to wish you a very Merry Christmas. And in the spirit of Christmas giving, if you value our work at all, if you value the Tinnitus Talk Forum, the Tinnitus Talk podcast, or any of the projects I described, please consider a donation to support our work. Again, we are all volunteers, so we don't have any staff costs or overhead. Anything you donate goes directly into the maintenance of the forum or any of our projects. And if you can't donate, but you have time to spare and some useful skills to share, we're also always looking for volunteers. On that note, we hope you have great holidays, and we hope to see you around here. Bye.